Hello everyone, I'm Eric the Anime Hunter, aka the Chi-Town Shogun, and welcome to the wrestling show where I watch semi-random matches and get my very insightful commentary on them. And today, we're going to be watching Hyper Misao vs Shunma Katsumata from DDT Dramatic Explosion 2021. You know, I just want to preface this by saying I love Hyper Misao. I feel like she's one of the only people who can get away with vehicular homicide and not end up becoming a wretched beast like Kayfabe Corey.
Pablo.
Anyways, let's get right to the beginning of the matchup here as we see Katsumata come out with Charlie Kelly's Rad Stick. It then cuts to Hyper Misao, like the deviant that she is, literally putting a curse on this man. Hyper Misao proceeds to go on a tangent about the satellite controllers and how they've been burning her teeth and burning her gums, burning her lips, and changing her anatomy. Her schizophrenic delusions come to an abrupt stop as the match turns into an r/not safe for life video within the first 30 seconds. Hyper Misao takes a giant dive on the Katsumata. We then see Hyper Misao bring out her Deus Ex Machina. She eats shit for it though. Of course, this isn't long lived. We then witness one of the most gruesome events in wrestling history, the Katsumata chair incident of 2021. Katsumata gets a free lobotomy courtesy of the superhero. Katsumata then proceeds to block the giant brush of the chair and kills Misao with it. Katsumata then puts the giant spiked brush into Misao's back. We then see a firecracker get placed right into Hyper Misao's mouth, leaving her looking like she was zapped by some of the satellite controllers. We then see a ladder bump and some Hyper CTE. There's some Lego IEDs, and then Hyper Misao takes a bump on the said Legos. Katsumata then proceeds to take a fun-looking bump onto those Legos, and then gets his head and his shoulder stapled. Hyper Misao then proceeds to drive skewers into Katsumata's head. Hyper Misao gets a taste for her medicine as Katsumata proceeds to put skewers right into her skull. Hyper Misao gets unmasked, but Katsumata then takes an Irish whip into the post. Hyper Misao sends Katsumata and herself through a barbed wire wooden board. Hyper Misao then proceeds to take out Pandora's box. She drops thumbtacks over herself, which to me, at first, kind of looked like solidified piss. Does roll-ups for days, and that leads into a brutal Death Valley driver from Katsumata onto the tacks. Katsumata moonsaults into the tacks and misses a dropkick, which causes him to fall into the tacks once again. There's an insane ladder suplex on the fucking Legos and thumbtacks because fuck having a functional spinal column, I guess. Hyper CTE Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Hyper CTE Part 3 CTE Warriors. Katsumata hits a massive splash from the top of the ladder to get the win in 15 minutes and 34 seconds. Now it's time for the segment where I discuss my thoughts on the match. I thought this match was just so fun. A lot of the spots were not only creative, but they were insane to watch. Again, a lot of them are kind of common in the Japanese wrestling scene, but that doesn't make them any less impressive. The two wrestlers involved are just so good at what they do. Everything just worked in this match, and I definitely recommend you seek out the match in its entirety. And not only that, I recommend you guys look into more Hyper Misao and more Shunma Katsumata content. I would give this match on the E.T.A.H scale. Yes, that's right, the Eric the Anime Hunter scale. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. And with that being said, that was, my review, my take on the Hyper Misao vs Shunma Katsumata match. And yeah, that's pretty much it.